You send a text to a good friend. 12 hours pass. Nothing. For someone with a secure attachment style, this is a minor glitch. They might assume their friend is just busy, brush it off, and go about their day. But for someone else, those 12 hours of silence trigger a silent catastrophe. Their mind races. They wonder what they did wrong, fall into deep self-loathing, or feel a sudden, burning urge to block the friend's number entirely. Why does the exact same non-event cause a shrug in one person and a full-blown emotional spiral in another? Society often dismisses this as someone simply having a difficult personality. Our adult personality, the integrated form of our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, is shaped by the environment we grew up in. When a child faces adversity, the brain wires itself specifically to navigate those conditions. This massive overreaction to a delayed text represents a biological survival mechanism. It is an adaptation designed for a world of constant threat, even if that threat is no longer present. Think of the developing brain as a prediction machine. Its primary job is keeping you alive. If a child grows up around chronic abuse or domestic violence, the brain alters its physical architecture to anticipate danger. The HPA axis is the body's alarm circuit, firing stress hormones at threats. With constant childhood adversity, this alarm never turns off, exhausting the system. This blunted cortisol response impairs chemical regulation. This flood reshapes the brain, shrinking the amygdala or making it intensely hyperreactive. In a chaotic home, these biological shifts are highly successful adaptations. Being intensely hypervigilant to the sudden, unpredictable mood shifts of an angry parent is exactly what keeps a child safe. The problem is that this hardware doesn't reset simply because the environment changes. The same biology that navigated a hostile past now drives maladaptive emotional responses in a safe present. We can map these connections through retrospective research. By tracking adult patients backward in time, scientists have found that the specific nature of childhood adversity correlates with distinct personality patterns. In clinical cohorts, severe abuse shows high association with cluster B traits. Institutions like the World Health Organization now distinguish complex PTSD as a specific diagnosis for those whose personality traits were shaped by prolonged, inescapable trauma. Whether we lash out or withdraw, our adult behavior is a data-backed reflection of the specific environment we were forced to survive. For many, this realization feels like double jeopardy, being wounded in childhood only to be burdened with the stigma of a difficult personality as an adult. But neuroplasticity means that because these traits were wired by experience, they can be rewired by new experiences. The brain maintains the ability to reshape its pathways well into adulthood. Healing an overactive fear center starts with the body. Simple physical actions, like pressing your hands into a hard surface or rhythmic tactile engagement, provide the sensory feedback necessary to convince the brain that it is currently safe. To address high neuroticism, interventions like mindfulness and cognitive behavioral therapy help break the internal cycles of self-blame and rumination. These practices allow individuals to process traumatic feelings while building emotional stability. If you recognize these traits in yourself, your personality is functioning exactly as research predicts it would based on your history. You can replace self-judgment with the understanding that your brain did exactly what it needed to do to keep you alive. Your personality is not a life sentence. By addressing the underlying physiological scars, it is possible to transition from a life defined by survival to one defined by your own choices.